Liberty Walk GTR. That is insane. That's so fitting while I'm driving the Skyline. That is so sick. The thing looks so clean. Damn, look at this lineup right here. 240 and a Skyline. What's up guys, welcome back to the videos. Mike from JDM Icon here, and obviously we're going to be working on the Skyline in today's video. So obviously the car stinks. As you saw in the last videos, there were like squirrels in here and stuff like that. So this is the blower motor of the Skyline. Look at that.
Wait. Inside there. There's still like residue.
Residue, there's still debris. Holy shit. So I just want to deodorize. Obviously this is a temporary fix, but it'll have to do for now. So what we're gonna do today is try to pop out some of the dents around the car. We're gonna be taking it to one of my dad's friends that does like PDR and stuff like that, paintless dent removal. And we're also going to try and fix the wing today since it's really faded. And well, it just looks terrible. As you can see, it's already turned white, and yeah, it just looks really gross. My dad is driving my Z and he went to the wrong side again. Right, so the plan right now is to drop off the Skyline at this like dent repair place because this car is literally covered in dents. There isn't a panel on this car that doesn't have dents on it. It's pretty bad, but they gave us a pretty decent quote, so we're gonna go ahead and drop it off right now. And in the meantime, I'm probably gonna work on the S13. There's some things I want to touch up and paint. Oh, Winnipeg roads are terrible. But yeah, let's go ahead and drop off the Skyline and work on the S13. So just driving the Skyline, the clutch pedal kind of went all the way down because I guess there was still some air in it, and now it works perfectly, and I have no idea. I was just driving the car, so I guess in a way it just bled itself. I guess that's pretty awesome. And I love 90s Nissans. They're self-healing to a certain extent. Oh my god guys, this is the best Mustang I've ever seen. I don't know if you can see, but there's like some anime character on the side. Some biddies. Yes! That's awesome.
A few moments later.
So we're working on the S13 and we have some really bad news. So in the last video, you guys kind of saw that we replaced the rockers, which was rusty. My friend Ash, as you saw in the last video, he did a burnout. He did a really good job here. But working underneath the fender, we found some more issues with the S13. And that's not where it ends. It also is here, right? I don't know what to call it. I guess the rear quarter panel has some more rust here. And it's like, look at that. This sucks. And all of this, here's the other side, which is even, I want to say worse, but all of this would have to be cut out. And this was all because of mud flaps that literally trapped the water in here. And I guess the drain as well caused this whole area to rust. The weird thing is the common areas for the S13 to rust, this car isn't rusty there. It's like where all the drains are. Like I just touched it and it just fell apart. So it's where all the drains are. What we're gonna do to the rockers, because this was already fixed, we're gonna relocate the drain and make sure it doesn't rust again. As well as the rear quarter panels, we're gonna fix the drain, re-engineer it in a sense to make sure this doesn't happen again and make sure this car is pretty much bulletproof in terms of rust in the future. So if I do ever think about selling the S13, I want to sell it. I want to sell it and make sure that everything is all good. I don't want to hide anything. I want to fix this car properly because it is a left-hand drive S13, which is getting really rare because all of these cars are just rotting away. So what I'm doing right now is just using a grinder like this with a really coarse like sandpaper disc or grinding disc, and just going to town. Ash gave me some tips. He's told me to grind all of this away as much as I could and make sure there's no rust, because even the smallest speck of rust will still grow. But he did tell me to buy this epoxy spray, which basically freezes rust and makes sure it doesn't grow. So even though there is a little bit of rust, this should help it not spread in the future. So right now I'm just taking off all the loose stuff here, making sure that it goes back to bare metal as much as possible. And then after that, I'm going to be spraying the epoxy spray. Maybe in another month or so, since Ash is really busy, he's going to go ahead and fix all of this here. And same with the rear quarters over here. I literally planned this video to work on the S13 and trying to get it to look better, because there are some things just like this spot over here to get it on the road, and I really want to drive this car. But before anything, maintenance and then rust repair and whatever the car needs before mods. So unfortunately, this build is gonna take a lot longer. I'm happy that I know Ash, because he knows what he's doing, and I trust him in terms of like repairs like this, because I definitely can't do this type of repair on the driveway or even in the shop, because I'm not a body man, I'm not a welder. For now, the S13 is gonna look like this for a little bit until it can get fully repaired.
Later.
So enough about the S13, because I'm pretty much done with that car right now. As you guys saw, it needs some body work, and yesterday I was grinding away, getting it all down to bare metal, ready for that piece to be cut out and then welded, just so the car is as good as new again. I just picked up the Skyline and it looks way better. I'm not too sure if I showed this in a previous video, but they were literally dents all over the car. Like there was a huge dent here. I don't even know where it was. It was, I think, around here. I think it was around here. And it was right on the body line, and it sucked, but we took it to that dent place and they popped it out, and it's freaking perfect. I can't believe how it came out. And same with the other side here, like this, you can see there was a big scrape here, and I tried popping it out a little bit, but obviously I didn't know what I was doing. But they got it pretty much perfect. I thought I had to buy a whole new fender, but they straightened it out and it looks really, really good. The worst one being probably this quarter panel here. This here was basically buckled and it was all like kinked and stuff like that. They straightened it out pretty freaking well here. So I'm still gonna have to take the old paint off, make sure that this area doesn't rust anymore. But this is gonna be so much easier for me to work with now and straighten out, now that the dent isn't there. Alright, so we made it back home. We are working on the R32, and what I'm gonna do today, paint this hideous looking wing. Now, Josh and I are thinking about getting the GTR wing, kind of like Randy Trong from Eliminate. We really like his style wing. And as you can see, this one's really sun faded and it just looks terrible, but it's a really easy fix because I got a good color match for this paint. And it doesn't look like that there's any damage on here other than this, but I think this should be able to come out with a little bit of sanding and some high build primer. So what I'm gonna do now is take off this light here and then unbolt the wing. It should come out. I'll take it to the back, spray it, and throw it back on the car. So we finally took the wing off, and looking at the R32 without a wing, it honestly looks really ugly. No wonder no one runs these cars without any wing. It kind of looks like just like a grandpa car without even the stock wing on. Honestly, it looks like it's coming out really good. So it's been about a day since I painted the wing for the R32 and the trunk. I just put some clear coat, so it's not exactly super shiny yet. This is just dust because it's been sitting for a few hours drying. I'm still gonna have to cut and polish both the trunk and the wing over there. And then it should come out like a mirror finish and it should look really good. I do want to just keep it out in the sun just to harden and stuff like that, just so I don't screw up the paint or anything. But I'm pretty sure after a nice wet sand with like 1500 2K and then a cut and polish, this thing will look really good. I'll show you guys the wing as well. I think the wing came out really good actually, better than I initially thought. But you can see over there it's not exactly super shiny. Like, it is shiny, it's kind of hazy still. I'm still gonna have to wet sand this, but I think after a nice wet sand, it's gonna come out really, really good. Alright guys, so before we end today's video, I just want to show you guys how the Skyline currently looks. I just wet sanded and polished up the trunk. I didn't do the wing yet. Honestly, it looks pretty good for a rattle can job. I am really happy with it. You can kind of see some of the reflection out there. I'm really happy with how it came out. Now, because of how rough this car is, it's not necessarily like bad, but it's just a lot of small things to touch up on the car. And as you can see here, I'm doing some body work over here, blending out the paint. There were some tiny dime rust spots all around the car. There were 2 here, so I'm currently working on that. Obviously the car still needs work. And as well, going around to the rear bumper, there is literally putty everywhere because of the paint chipping off. And then so I wet sanded the whole thing, put this putty just to level it out. So I'm just waiting for that to dry. And then obviously I have the whole other side to work on, as well as this front fender here, which I don't think the fender doesn't need replacing because it's still straight, but it's just the paint, and obviously this has to be leveled out before you paint this. So the Skyline does need a lot of work, but that is all the time we have for today. So in the next video, we're going to be finishing up all the body work on the car, and then, I don't know, blending it out. And then I'm going to start working on the cracked bumper here. You guys can see there, it's cracked there. And we're missing a piece over here. Like I said, the Skyline needs a lot of work, but in the next video, we're going to be finishing all of that. So stay tuned for that. As well as the S13, as you guys saw earlier in this video. And as you guys saw earlier in this video, the S13 also needs a lot of work. Yeah, we have a lot of things planned for these 90s Nissan. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.